You hear me? This is Jordan.
Jordan and Joe are talking in live. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, buddy. Start streaming.
We'll be going live in 6 minutes.
Reroll is on the MultiGP YouTube channel. I wonder if I can refresh the live event page without it crashing. Oh, it looks good. I don't know why it's saying it looks bad. Come on, mouse. Today's not the day to fuck around. Yeah, that's good. 5 minutes.
All right, guys, I'm jumping off this channel, going into back channel. We just...
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it. It is night number 2 of the virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament. I'm Joe Scully. Along with me is Jordan Kruger. How you doing tonight, Jordan?
Hey, I'm doing great, Scully. Good to be here.
I'm excited to bring another night of virtual drone racing to the masses as we broadcast live on the Midco Sports Network, bringing you the virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament. In addition to all of our partners' social media channels, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're all over the world, and we're excited to have each and every one of you with us here tonight as we do virtual drone racing with collegiate pilots. But before we get into that, Jordan, what is drone racing all about?
You know, that's a great question. And RC aircraft, boats, and cars have been around for many years, actually, and there's a lot of competitions associated with those. But what makes drone racing unique is the fact that we stick a camera on a quadcopter that goes crazy fast. We actually get to race them around, right? We wear these goofy-looking goggles on our face that have screens in them, and that gives us a live video feed to our aircraft, which means we get a first-person view and a cockpit perspective racing around these tracks at speeds in excess of sometimes 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that first-person view, a truly immersive experience as the pilots are flying or commanding their craft by looking at that feed coming back from the drone. And tonight on our broadcast, you're going to be able to see in real time the exact same feeds that our pilots are using to command their craft. It's night number 2. Tonight is team racing, but last night, our individual championship really was a great precursor for the championship battles we're going to see here tonight. Well, last night was fantastic. We saw head-to-head, blade-to-blade competition as the pilots maneuvered their way through our championship track. We started the day in qualifiers, working our 26 pilots down to 8 for our top 8 double elimination bracket. It was 4 pilots racing at a time during qualifiers, where we saw some blazing fast laps from Pino, Balake, Sticks and Stones, and Rusky. Those same pilots maintained their pace in our top 8 championship bracket, where we saw an epic battle between Sticks and Stones and Balake. They were shoved into a sudden death situation where they needed to win to move on to the final race against Pino. In his sights, of course, on those line of sight cameras, Balake is in red, Sticks and Stones in the gold, and you see the gold out front. Sticks and Stones just making that pass. Now he's 2 gates ahead of Balake. Sticks and Stones into that corkscrew section, and right behind him is Balake. Balake is 1 gate back through that sweeper. He has Sticks and Stones in his sights and makes the pass, but Balake crashes in the red slalom section. Now Sticks and Stones up in the number 1 spot. A 2-gate lead into the final gates we go.
Oh,
Oh
my gosh.
As you saw, Sticks and Stones prevailed, but in the final matchup, Pino took claim to our fastest individual pilot on the night by shutting down Sticks and Stones with 3 straight wins in our best-of-5 format. Throughout last night, we saw some hard crashes on our virtual track. Remember, even though it's virtual, those crashes damage players' aircraft in the simulator, making it anybody's game. Plenty of trading places between our pilots on the course and some extremely close finishes, keeping the competition alive. I think we'll get to see a lot more of that tonight in our 8-school double elimination bracket.
To the page, and if you feel so inclined, absolutely feel free to donate and help people out.
Yeah, CDRA CV Relief is the URL on the Google or on the GoFundMe. So we invite you definitely to check that out. Help us raise some funds. Already from last night, we're up to $300 raised for coronavirus relief efforts. And again, that's the CDRA Coronavirus Relief Fundraiser on GoFundMe.com. So racing for fun and having a fun time and raising some funds as well. And I believe it is time for us. Here's a little look back. Is this a look back at last night, what we're seeing on our screen there, Jordan?
It looks like we are watching the lobby live as pilots fly around. I'm assuming that means they're getting that recap video ready fairly quickly.
Our team definitely having lots of fun here tonight as we look to meet our pilots as well here this evening in our opening segment. There's a look at our course. We'll be going into that in just a little bit as well. So a look at our video right there of our actual course. Well, now it is a chance here. We're going to take a look at our teams here tonight that have qualified for our championship as we get ready to go into our first matchup of the night here in just a little bit. Teams of two, our first two teams will be University of Central Florida versus the University of Minnesota. Sticks and Stones in single core from the FPV Knights of Florida, and Racers and Nautilus from University of Minnesota in our first matchup. Matchup number two will be featuring the University of North Dakota and the Rotorhawks. That'll be Rusky and Jangstorm, and they did really well last night, finishing inside the top six. I think Jangstorm was sixth, and Rusky was fourth overall in the individual competition. And they'll be matched up tonight versus the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Prescott Drone Racers, DeWing and Timinator, who qualified inside of the top 25 yesterday to put them into match number two. Also tonight in the preliminary round, we're going to see the drone racing team at Virginia Tech's Lou FPV and White Eye matched up versus the University of Wisconsin-Platteville Pioneer Drone Club, Sparky the Gray, and Create FPV. And finally, in the preliminary round, we'll see the U.S. Air Force Academy's drone racing teams currently, who is 16th overall in individual racing, along with Max V FPV, comprising the U.S. Air Force Academy team, against our top-seeded team, Northeastern University, Silver Dragon. That's Ryan Lung, who is 7th overall in our individual competition. And, of course, our top individual pilot from last night, Pino Pedris Caceres, our top qualifier and our winner last night. Pino and Silver Dragon 314 comprising team Northeastern University. That is going to be exciting to get into. And now let's take a little look at the course that all of our pilots are going to be flying on here tonight.
If we take a look at this course, that last blue section that you saw is our baby blue CDRA switchback section. That's going to move them over the sky bridge into our purple barrel roll section. Now they move on to the UND green carousel, and that'll bring them into our first slalom section on the course, our only slalom section on the course. After that, they'll be into baby blue number 2, and finally going into our raised gates. That's our final section on the track. As they push through that massive yellow gate, that is the final gate. This is going to be a one-lap format. We're looking forward to it here tonight.
Yes, indeed. So one lap wonders. And so the format for tonight is a double elimination bracket of the top 8 teams competing against each other. So they can only be second once. They got to win their way through into our finals here tonight. Now, as we look to how they're going to work, we're going to do 1v1s just like last night, where we take the second overall seeds from each team, or the Bs, they race against each other. The top seed from each team, or the As, they race against each other. And then all 4 pilots will compete at the end in a big heat for finish points. And from there, the team that accumulates the most points will be working their way into the championship up through our bracket here tonight. And as we get that all worked out, and as our pilots getting into their chairs, wherever those chairs may be all across the nation, virtual racing inside of the Velocidrone simulator, we have a chance for you, those watching at home, to be able to play along with our competition here tonight with the Hydra FPV app. It's available in the Apple iTunes Store and also in the Google Play Store. So both devices and even Blackberries now are able to do it in the Google Play Store. It's absolutely free to download, and it's absolutely free to play as well. All the teams and all the matches are in there. All you need to do is create an account, find tonight's race. It's at the top of the homepage, and see all the teams. You'll see how they're seated and their points. And as we go through our brackets here, you pick the winners or the losers. Kind of like pass or run with QB football. You play along in the Hydra FPV app, and for points, all night long, and we'll have a winner at the end on a Hydra FPV leaderboard. Again, on the Apple iTunes Store and the Google Play Store as well. Absolutely free to download, absolutely free to play. And we'll be getting right into match number 1, the University of Central Florida versus the University of Minnesota. Our first matchup is coming up, so get the Hydra FPV app downloaded, get a deep seat, and get ready for some live virtual drone racing here tonight to your set-top boxes on the Midco Sports Network and on all of our Twitch and YouTube partners as well. More drone racing action when we come back on the Midco Sports Network. So for those of you watching our live streams at home, this is kind of like being at a football game where there's no action. Everyone's sitting on the bench and you're wondering what is going on. Well, we're under a commercial break on the Midco Sports Network as we're proud here to broadcast live all across North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, and even into Kansas on the Midco Sports Network. So we'll be taking commercial breaks to talk to all of you at home. We'll catch up on the chat. Of course, we are coming back to live TV here in about 30 seconds or network, and we're getting ready to roll into match number 1 here tonight. Super excited to bring you virtual drone racing in the Velocidrone Sim here this evening. It'll be match number 1, Central Florida versus Minnesota, the FPV Knights in Alpha Drone. And so we kick things off. Remember, Bs versus Bs, As versus As. And our first matchup will be Single Core and Nautilus here on the course tonight.
As we get these pilots lined up, looking for that countdown very shortly.
Pilots in the room, our team rushing behind the scenes as you know, last night was nice and smooth, but live production, all kinds of things happening, and up and down we go with our stream. But we are back in live. Single Core in the lead right now for Central Florida. He's got a 2-gate lead over Nautilus here in the course. You're watching line of sight, Single Core in the yellow, Nautilus in the purple, and they are now separated by about 7 gates as your leader Single Core going into, or coming up just short of the corkscrew section. And now he goes into that purple corkscrew or barrel roll section. That lead now getting a little tighter. Only 2 gates separating him as Nautilus goes into that purple barrel roll section. Single Core now working his way in that red slalom section on the backside. Nautilus getting a little closer now. 3 gates back, 2 gates back. Nautilus is hot on the heels of Single Core. Nautilus trying to make this pass right here. Hot on the heels, and Nautilus inside the baby blue number 2 section, hitting the dirt. That is contact with terra firma. Nautilus almost caught up, but there is your first point on the board for the University of Central Florida. Single Core, Michael Pickering getting it done. Wow. Nautilus, are you on the line still with us, Sam? Oh man, you almost caught up to him there. What happened in the very end? I was watching Single Core, but you had him in your sights, and then what happened in the last split second of that race? All right. We wish you the best of luck in the big heat to try and get a point on the board for University of Minnesota. Thanks to Single Core, University of Central Florida up by 1, and now we match up our top seeds. Sticks and Stones for Central Florida versus Racers of the University of Minnesota.
Purple aircraft is the University of Minnesota, and the yellow aircraft is the University of Central Florida. They're wearing their school colors tonight. Sticks and Stones with a hole shot on that. Racers in second as they move through our twister section, that's our ladder gate, and then do CDRA switchback. That's our first baby blue section of the course. That'll bring them right into the Sky Bridge section. Sticks and Stones, your leader, going through the barrel roll. And into the UND green carousel. That is a big gap.
15-gate lead right now. Sticks and Stones would try and put 2 on the board here for Central Florida before we get ready for the big heat. Where last night he was second overall, our hero of the game in the individual race, and he pulls up the second point here for the University of Central Florida. Sticks and Stones, welcome back. Great racing. Are you still feeling the rush from last night's reserve championship and carrying that through here tonight in team racing?
Yeah, very much. I just need to really stick to it and repeat what I did yesterday, hopefully.
There we are. That is a good win there in our 1v1s. And now we stage up what we call our big heat. That's all 4. So before we go green on this, just to understand the point structure, it's 1 point for a win. That's simple. That's how University of Central Florida now have 2 points. But when we do our big heat, first place will get 4 points, second place will get 3, and third place will get 2. Fourth place will be 0. When it gets to the big heat, pretty much the situation is you cannot be 4th. So for University of Central Florida being up by 2 points, they need a first place and anything else, or a second and a third, and they win. Now for University of Minnesota, they're not out as of yet, down by 2. But if they want to win this one, they'll need a first and a second, or a first and a third. Let's go green. University of Central Florida with the 2-point advantage.
Wow.
Dixon Stones doing his thing up in front, and Racers was in the number 2 spot there, but dropping down into third. So right now, it's both pilots from the University of Central Florida leading the charge here. Sticks and Stones with at least a 5-gate lead over the rest of the field. But look at Single Core and Racers in the number 2 spot. You see a splash of purple. That's Racers hot on the heel of Single Core, and a race for second for these finish points. And Dix and Stones will get the win of the big heat for University of Central Florida. Racers pulls up second. Single Core pulls up third. And looks like Nautilus in the number 4 spot still to finish up. And so Racers almost got it done there, getting enough points on the board, but it'll be a score of 8-3, University of Central Florida over University of Minnesota. So we're going to move Central Florida up in the winner's bracket to match number 7. And of course, night not done here for University of Minnesota. They're back in race number 5, in the consolation bracket here in just a little bit. Man, that was intense. That was what our drone race was all about right there.
First race of the night. I love it.
It sounds like we're already clearing out our pilots and getting ready for our next group. And man, those points, I like how when we get into the big heat, anything can happen there. So even if you're down by 2, there is a chance to come back. We'll see how it goes. I'm already seeing some kudos in our YouTube chat for Dixon Stones. You know, this drone racing, we love to do it in parks, stadiums, and arenas in real life, flying quadcopters, first-person view. But of course, as we move into the sim environment, it gives us a lot of advantages. And Jordan, it's pretty easy to get into it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. Sitting right next to me is actually my controller that I use for the Velocidrone Racing Simulator. So literally what these pilots are doing right now is they have this same kind of controller plugged into their computer just via a USB cord. They download Velocidrone and they're able to fly with us live online. So in terms of accessibility of drone racing, you don't even have to buy one of these fancy controllers. I mean, they're about 120, so actually it's fairly cheap. You could actually, if you wanted to, use like an Xbox or a PlayStation controller. It's as easy as that. One of the cheapest ways to do it is to start by using the racing simulator like we've got tonight with Velocidrone, and then slowly build your way up in terms of muscle memory and pilot skill. And eventually, you know, you'll find out more information and be in a position to where you could buy one of these little guys or work your way up even beyond that with 5-inch quads that go faster.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So an interesting and simple start, you know, $20, velocidrone.com. You fly the official simulator that we're racing on here tonight, starting with that Xbox controller, buying, or if you have the 16-channel RC radio, working your way up to flying real craft. And of course, the best part about it is you have that reset button, right? So at any time, you can, instead of going to pick up all the parts, you just hit that reset button and get set to go green again. All right, let's get ready for match number 2. It's University of North Dakota versus Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Prescott, who have pretty much been in the top 5 at every collegiate drone racing championship. UND coming in the 2nd overall team seed here tonight. Embry-Riddle Prescott 7th tonight in qualifying. In our field of 8 in our championships out of our 14 teams. So in the top half again, and now going to climb up the leaderboard. First matchup here, 1v1s, the second seeds from each team. It'll be Jeng Storm from UND and Timinator from Embry-Riddle University, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University of Prescott.
That's actually a live feed that you're getting from Timinator there. We've got some cameras hooked up on their phones so that we can do in-person interviews for the race. Now that we're in the race, Jengstorm in the lead. That's holding true to their seeds, right? University of North Dakota being our 2 seed and Embry-Riddle being our 7 seed. UND is in green and Embry-Riddle is in blue. Now you're looking at Jengstorm now about 10 to 15 gates ahead of Timinator, holding his own, making a little bit of contact on the barrel roll section. Goes a little wide, but he gets back into it, into our UND green sweeper section. A little bit more contact, but still ahead. He's got some breathing room here. Timinator now behind by about 20 gates-ish. That's about 5 or 6 seconds. Storm looking like he's got this one in the bag without any more contact. And yep, there he goes. He flies to the finish gate. That's a win for Jengstorm and a win for UND.
So we got Timinator on the line there. Timinator, what happened? Are you just starting to wake up here tonight? Well, we got all kinds of smiles.
All right.
Let's go to our next matchup. Top seed from each team. That'll be Rusky from the University of North Dakota Rotohawks versus DeWing, University, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Prescott. Embry-Riddle getting ready to fly with your top seeds. Now, DeWing for Embry-Riddle was 22nd overall. And Rusky, we saw in our second last race of the night last night in our individual race, 4th overall. And we're getting DeWing in, but we do see Rusky on the screen. Look at that, racing at home and even in your journey. Are you ready to race, Rusky?
Yeah, sure am.
There you go. There's a great shot at the home setup there. Looks like you're in a garage right now. Is that where you are?
Market bunker, yeah.
Nice.
So where are you joining us from, Russ?
Roseville, Minnesota.
Roseville, Minnesota. Very nice.
Truly a national competition with pilots from all over the world, even our commentators. I'm just outside of Toronto, Ontario, and my colleague Jordan just outside of Grand Rapids, North Dakota. We get DeWing in the line. I haven't heard yet.
I think we do. I see him in the lobby. I think we're just about ready to go.
All right, pilots are set. UND up by 1. So it's on DeWing to try and tie it up here before we go into our big heat.
2, 1.
That's Rusky with your hole shot there. Let's get already into the ladder section. That's Twister. We're calling that Twister. And he's moving quickly into the CDRA switchback. That's your first baby blue section of the course. Rusky with a decent lead here. He's pushing over the sky bridge, which will bring him into our barrel roll section. Now, when I say barrel roll, lots of you are probably familiar with that term, and that's because airshow pilots do that in real life. We get to do that not only in the simulator, but also real life with our aircraft. We can fly up, down, left, and right, rolls, flips, anything we want with these. And it's just like that in the sim. Now, Rusky, well ahead. He's on the last section of the course, pushing through that final gate. A little bit of contact. Pushes through. That's a win for Russ, and that's 2 points for University of North Dakota.
Yeah, they're in fine form right now. Looked like a 43-second lap time on it for Rusky to get the win there for UND, but it's head-to-head. It's finished position. It's not about times. But last night, what we saw, Jordan, a 26, or was it even faster for Pino in those brackets?
That was crazy. Pino, I mean, our top qualifier, our individual champion, he literally put on a 26-second lap. When I built this course, it was built for basically 33-second to 45-second lap times is what I was expecting. And Pino comes in and starts laying down 26s and 27s. Just unbelievable. Very fast pilot. And we're going to see some more of that tonight. But Russ and Jangstorm, that's got to feel good. You've got one race left. You think you're going to be able to take this?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident
we've got a shot.
in our ability. Yeah.
Fair enough. DeWing and Terminator, how are you guys feeling?
Pretty good. Still getting a little bit used to the sim, but
Fair enough. Well, you better get used to it real quick because we're racing soon.
Let's go green on this one. UND up by 2, so Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Prescott, DeWing and Timinator need to be first and second or first and third to move on in our winners bracket here tonight. And right now it's UND 1 and 2 with the green drones that you're looking to at the front of the field as they go through that to the baby blue switchback section out on the far side. They have about a 6-gate lead over Timinator from Embry-Riddle, and Timinator trying to get caught up here to the rest of the field who are just slaying it right now. Jangstorm in the red slalom section, about to go into baby blue number 2. Husky only about 3 gates behind him, so there we go. First and second for UND. That'll give them a total of 9 points to Embry-Riddle's 2 points. So UND will be moving on to compete against the University of Central Florida in match number 7 in our winners bracket. And into the consolation bracket we go for DeWing and Timinator. They'll be back in match number 5 in just a little bit versus the University of Minnesota. In the consolation bracket, when there, it is do or die, as it were, to stay alive here tonight. Man, love wearing the jersey. And Jangstorm, are you wearing a jersey to match Rusky here this evening?
Yeah, we kind of wound up wearing the same shirt. We have actual jerseys, but we think we both left them in Grand Forks.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, a t-shirt is a jersey. I mean, a t-shirt is the best thing that you can wear, right? It's you can wear it to wash your car. You can wash your car with it. You can even wear a t-shirt to most weddings, even funerals. So a t-shirt can be your jersey, and obviously it's working here tonight. After the break, we're back with our next 2 rounds of the preliminary round. Stay tuned to the Midcoast Sports Network. More live drone racing after these messages. Jordan, you're a big part of the Rise at UND. What's that all about?
Absolutely. So the University of North Dakota has a research institute for autonomous systems. That's a department on campus that's dedicated specifically to research in autonomous systems, just like the name says. And I'm proud to be actually working for that department under University of North Dakota, and that's why I'm also repping the UND green on my pullover here. So I believe we've got a quick little video about UND. The Research Institute for Autonomous Systems for you folks. Love working there. UND.
Welcome back. You're watching the virtual collegiate drone racing tournament live on the Midcoast Sports Network, along with all of our partners, MultiGP on their YouTube channel, Hydra FPV on their Twitch channel, and of course, Facebook as well, wherever you are watching us here tonight. Thanks for being along for the ride. We're back into our preliminary round. We're at match number 3, our number 5 seed in team racing versus our number 4 seed in team racing. It's Virginia Tech versus University of Wisconsin-Platteville. And just like we saw before, we start off with our 2nd seeds versus our top seeds. So our first matchup will be White Eye versus Create FPV. Then it'll be Lou FPV versus Sparky the Gray. And all shuffled up on your screen right there. Great profile pics. Look out, ladies. We got some stunning pilots ready to fly here.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, if the seeds say anything, Virginia Tech being 4 and UW-Platteville being 5, this is going to be a close race.
Yeah, it is. I mean, your number 2 seeds for Virginia Tech, White Eye was 14th, and for University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Create was 25th, and there really wasn't much wiggle room between them. And then your top seed, Sparky the Gray from University Wisconsin-Platteville, was 5th to Virginia Tech's Lou FPV 8th. So just on the numbers and the stats, this is looking to be an evenly matchup. Of course, the teams seeded based on those skills, and yeah, 4th, 5th. Let's get into this preliminary round matchup here. Virginia Tech versus University Wisconsin-Platteville. The drone racing team, Virginia Tech versus the Pioneer Drone Club. And your first matchup, White Eye versus Create FPV. White Eye in the red as you're watching, Create FPV right behind him in the gold. And White Eye for Virginia Tech, Create for University of Wisconsin-Platteville. They're only separated by a gate here, so we said it was going to be a banger. To the baby blue switchback section we go. White Eye is out of it, and he goes into the red Skybridge section. Create FPV now about 4 gates back. White Eye looks like some issues out of that barrel roll section. That's allowing Create FPV to get a little closer. Create FPV now back to within reach, 2 gates behind, but Create FPV having some issues in the sweeper section. So watching White Eye work his way out of that red slalom section into baby blue number 2. Now with about a 6, 7, now 8 gate lead. White Eye across the line. First point on the board for Virginia Tech.
Gotta feel good for our folks at Virginia Tech. You guys with us?
Woo.
Yep.
We got a visual on White Eye. So we saw one pilot racing in his garage, and it looks like, or his bunker, White Eye racing in the living room. And there's another interesting thing. You're flying the sim standing up, aren't you?
Oh, I'm not. I'm actually in this chair. I'm trying to... Sorry.
Dang. Hey,
The
no.
awkward camera in this.
Take it as a compliment. You got excellent posture. You also got the first point on the board for Virginia Tech. Let's go to match number 2. It's your A's, your top seeds. Lou FPV from Virginia Tech, Sparky the Gray from University of Wisconsin-Platteville. We're going green.
Lou FPV with your whole shot there, coming quickly over the split S. They're going right into the twister section. That's your ladder gate right there. Pilot spin counterclockwise around that and then shoot straight down that dive gate, giving him a ton of speed, which they then have to abruptly halt to get through that corner gate. Now you see him in our baby blue CDRA switchback section. Lou FPV with some contact. That's going to give Sparky the Gray the break that he needs. He's out in front now. Oh, they're moving through the UND green carousel section. That'll put Sparky right into our slalom. And into baby blue number 2. Lou FPV trying to catch up. Doesn't look like he will, though.
Sparky the Gray gonna tie it up here, guys. Holy. We said it was going to be a good matchup, so that's a win for University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Now tied 1-1 versus Virginia Tech going into this Final Four. So situation when we go into it, you got to think, when it's tied, how do you win? Well, if first and second would give you a win, first and third will give you a win, or a second and third will give you a win. That's a lot of numbers. Basically, you just don't want to be 4th, because if your pilot is 4th, you are out. And of course, this is a preliminary round, so we'll go into the losers bracket. Your big heat, Virginia Tech versus University of Wisconsin-Platteville. The race not to be last as we are tied. Let's go green.
This is all 4 pilots up.
2, 1.
See who gets this hole shot. That's going to be Lou FPV pushing hard over that hole shot. Into the twister section already. Now you're looking at 2 yellow quads and 2 red quads. Our red quads are Virginia Tech, and our yellow quads are University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Sparky the Gray is your leader. He's going through the barrel roll section and now into the UND green carousel. Lou FPV right behind him, just now getting to the UND green carousel, but Sparky's got some breathing room here.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of
that's
work to
all
do
you
if he wants to
see.
get it back up.
Everyone
there.
else is not even in frame there as you look at Sparky the Gray going around. So he will get first. That's what they were looking for there. But remember, it's a race not to be last. Next across the line will be UW FPV. So first for University of Wisconsin-Platteville, second for Virginia Tech, and just 2 more gates to go here for White Eye. That'll give him third, and that is going to be enough points, as Collegiate FPV still having some difficulty to get across that line. So moving on up, remember, a second and a third is going to be good enough. You just don't want to be last. Virginia Tech going to move on in our winners bracket to match number 8. And of course, the journey not done here for the Pioneer Drone Club at University of Wisconsin-Platteville. They're back in match number 6 in our consolation bracket. And yeah, in a tied situation, the way they finished up, it was 6-5 Virginia Tech over University of Wisconsin-Platteville on that matchup.
Great racing.
Yeah, holy, that's the pressure there. White Eye, you were running third. Were you looking at the ticker in the corner to see that you weren't back of the pack?
I was trying my hardest not to look at the placements because I knew it would throw me off. So I was just trying to focus on getting through those gates.
And
You just got to race your race.
Traditionally in these sim tournaments, we will do the race call of everybody's position. But of course, for all of our viewers at home watching on the Midcoast Sports Network, all they're looking at was the leader, Sparky the Gray, no one else within frame. So we didn't want to confuse them. And of course, we didn't want to mess you up. But yeah, you weren't last. So you guys are moving on up. Congratulations.
Racing pilots. Sounds like our next wave of pilots are ready. So our next match, we're looking at Northeastern University and U.S. Air Force Academy.
While we have a second, we do want to thank one of our anonymous donors who has donated another $75, taking our total to $375 in our GoFundMe. The CDRA Coronavirus Relief Fundraiser on GoFundMe. We started 300 and that just keeps going up. Of course, information on the bottom of the screen. You can find it on GoFundMe as well. So having fun on the sim, bringing virtual drone racing to the nation on set-top boxes and around the world on social media as well with our live streams, and raising some funds for a great cause, the foundation of the Center for Disease Control in the United States of America. Let's get set for match number 4, Northeastern versus U.S. Air Force. This is our final heat to the preliminary round. And our top seed team is stacked. Pino, our winner last night, Silver Dragon, who finished 7th overall. So the Air Force Academy definitely with their hands in front of them. And our first matchup is Silver Dragon versus Max V FPV, and Silver Dragon with about an 8-gate lead here on the start.
Silver Dragon well ahead here. Max needs some needs to push harder to get caught up. Silver Dragon now going through the barrel roll section and right into the UND green carousel. Looks like Max FPV is making contact with that dive gate. I think Silver Dragon might just have this one in the bag here. Hear those pilots breathing heavy as they're making it through this course.
When you're watching the red drone going through for Silver Dragon and Northeastern University, you don't see the other drone in frame. You know he's pretty much got this one in the bag, especially when they go through that second baby blue section or through that final turn as well. And so 1 win on the board for Northeastern University. Now we take our top seeds from each team. So from the U.S. Air Force drone racing team, currently, that's Samuel Ratcliffe, 16th overall versus last night's individual champion, Pino from Northeastern University. Currently, you got your hands full. Good luck. Pino on the left-hand side of your screen, he's calm, cool, casual, and collect. I don't know if that was a little lag or he's just making sure that his hand wasn't moving. But let's go green on this one right here. Pino versus currently Northeastern versus U.S. Air Force Academy.
We're watching Pino here to put down a blazing fast lap time. He is your individual champion from last night. And it looked like he was doing some kind of pre-race rituals there, which is good on him because he's out ahead. See Pino going through the barrel roll section already, well past the sky bridge into the UND green carousel. I think he's on track for one of his sub 30-second laps. Currently, again, out of frame. He is way back. Pino has quite a bit of breathing room. There you have it. Pino coming in with a 30.5. Now, it's not quite the fastest lap we've seen, but That's still fast.
That's it. I mean, we're just looking for wins. It's finished position. And a thumbs up from Pino as well. Excellent racing right there. So Northeastern University, your top seeded team, up by 2 as we get set to grid them up here in what is the big heat, racing 4 at a time. Now, remember, this is the preliminary round, and as we venture through that bracket, the seeds will get closer and closer again. Remember how tight the racing was when it was tied in our previous match when they were the 4th and 5th seed. The way the double elimination bracket works, we will see tighter matches as we go through. Some of these teams may rematch in the finals. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, U.S. Air Force Academy definitely with their hands full with Pino on the grid, down by 2 points. Let's go green on the big heat of match number 4.
1.
Pino and Silver Dragon, first 2 through the gate to lead it for NUAV, Northeastern University, currently in the number 3 spot, and that means we are missing Max V FPV. I don't know if he forgot to take off, if we completely lost him. I guess now he takes off.
Might not have clicked into the window.
So let this one run out, because currently, right now, in the number 2 spot, just ahead of Silver Dragon, back and forth. Silver Dragon in the red, currently in the blue. Silver Dragon getting in front of currently. Silver Dragon pulling up the number 2 spot on that. So currently getting the number 3 spot, Max V FPV in the number 4 spot, and he's still flying. Max V, what happened there? We didn't see you take off for a good 10-15 seconds. I guess that's just the way it goes.
All right.
He's still flying, so, well, no surprises there. Northeastern University moving on in our winners bracket, your top-seeded team. They're going to be back in match number 8 versus Virginia Tech in just a little bit. Man, that was another exciting race here tonight. So, Pino, how are you feeling tonight? You continue to keep winning heats. I think we've only seen you not win first in our finals between last night and tonight once. Are you going to try and take it for your teammate here, Silver Dragon 314, right in that final? Looks like we lost him as well, Jordan.
Well, it's a virtual event after all, right?
That's it. That's all you can do. So our preliminary brackets out of the way. Next, we go into the consolation bracket and the winner bracket. That was only match number 4. It's a 14 race program, so we're just past the mark. You still got a time to download the Hydra FPV app to follow along, and more drone racing still to come. You're watching the Midcoast Sports Network. This is how we do sports. Yeah, buddy.
You guys ready?
I believe we may have a special guest jumping in here. Marty, why don't you tell us a little bit about YDSC?
Guys, yes, the Youth Drone Sports Championships. We are based here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we have a youth program for middle school and high school students to race drones, build drones, race drones, and we have an amazing summer camp program that is about to kick off. You can find more information at youthdronesports.org, and here's a video that explains it.
When I was little, I wanted to fly in a spaceship around my house, and now I can with the drone that I built.
To know that I put that drone together and it's flying and I can do that.
There are students flying all across the country. And it's not only a physical drone, but you get onto simulators and race them online as well.
Bye-bye. That's a good way to learn engineering and STEM.
Being stuck here at home is very different, but it's super cool that I can race other people around the world.
Just take me out.
Well, thank you, Marty, and our entire team at Hydra FPV behind the scenes. So natural progression from the simulator into the actual drone sports arena, and also a great natural progression from high school into collegiate and championship racing as well. Welcome back. You're watching the virtual collegiate drone racing tournament on the Midco Sports Network. If you're just joining us, this is drone racing in a simulator environment with pilots from around the nation flying at home as we are all under the stay-at-home orders or we're sneaking out. Sports still dark, but drone racing continuing on here in this virtual environment. We're excited to have you with us. We're now going forward in our brackets. We've had 4 matches of our 14 here tonight, and we picked things up here in what is known as the Consolidation brackets, or losers bracket, as it were. So the team that gets second when we're all said and done will be eliminated. It's a last chance for romance here for University of Minnesota and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University of Prescott getting set to work here. So first matchup, every time we go our second seeds from each team, then our first seeds from each team, then our top 4. All 4 pilots will race in a big heat for those finish points. And so we'll start things off with Nautilus from University of Minnesota and Timinator from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Prescott. Similar seeds. Yeah, similar seeds in these first 2 pilots here. They were 21st and 26th in qualifying, respectively.
Nautilus with your hole shot there. Timinator behind in the blue. Nautilus in the purple. Nautilus moving into twister section, going left around that ladder gate. Going to put him right through that dive gate and bringing him into the CDRA switchback section. That's your first blue section on the course right there. Nautilus.
And Timinator,
like
you still see Timinator coming into screen there as he started to pick up a little speed. Now he's just 2 gates back behind Nautilus. Timinator looks like he had to double around to go back to that corkscrew section. Nautilus with a mistake as well. 3 gates separating them. Nautilus still your leader in the purple, and in a second you're going to see Timinator coming on frame as he keeps trying to reel it in. Timinator having issues back in the sweeper. So now Nautilus with a little bit of breathing room. 5 gates to the good as he gets set to go into that final turn toward our checkered gates. It'll be Nautilus over Timinator, 1 point to the University of Minnesota.
Absolutely, that's a win for Nautilus, and looks like it was a 57-second lap time. Timinator coming in just over 1 minute. It's 1 minute, 7 seconds.
At least they finished. I mean, this course is a lot more complex than it looks like. University of Minnesota's Racers, 9th overall in qualifying versus Embry-Riddle's DeWing, 22nd overall in qualifying. University of Minnesota up by 1. Let's go green.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Comes Racers with your hole shot.
Racers just ahead. DeWing going to try and reel him in. Remember, DeWing's team down by a point here, trying to tie it up before a big heat. That'd be great. But he's 3 gates back. Racers is on fire in that baby blue switchback.
Absolutely, and remember when we say hole shot, that is the very first gate on the course. When pilots fly through that gate, whoever gets that first gets the hole shot. Racers with a little bit of contact in our UND green carousel section, but he gets back up. He'll continue moving forward. DeWing now out of frame.
Is a 15-gate lead currently, so it's going to be all right. Looks like University of Minnesota is going to Wang Chung tonight. They have the lead of 2 going into our big heat. A win by Nautilus, a win by Racers. As we get set to load them up again, now it is on DeWing and Timinator to get her done. They'll need to be first and second, or first and third. Short story here. Don't be last, and you need a win for them.
3, 2, 1.
For the races we go. Racers with your hole shot. You see 2 purple quads and 2 blues quads. They're wearing their school colors. Racers down through the dive gate now. Nautilus about 2 seconds behind. Racers with a tiny bit of breathing room. Nautilus is going to have to push to catch up to him, but that's his teammate, so they shouldn't be too worried. Timinator and DeWing are now in 3rd and 4th. They need to make up a lot of room here to stay alive. Remember, this is it. If DeWing and Timinator get 3rd and 4th, they are out of the races for the night.
They're both flying together. making similar mistakes, but you're watching the two purple pilots right there, Racers and Nautilus. The University of Minnesota about to put this one in the bag here. That checkered line we go. There goes Racers. Here comes Nautilus. And so it'll be a score at 9-2. And yeah, that's technically a sweep. University of Minnesota over Embry-Riddle Aeronautical Prescott. So Minnesota on to match number 10. And we'll put Dwing Intimidator 7th overall based on the seeding. Racers and Nautilus on the line there. You guys got to be feeling pretty good. You were racing with each other, almost playing chase cam for each other pilots. Were you like drafting each other? Was that a strategy play, or you guys were just feeling about the same amount of being dialed in?
You know what? I just wanted to give Racers enough room to feel comfortable up at the front. I knew we just needed to do well overall in the heats, and I was willing to back off for that.
And does it help to have your teammate in front of you to show you where the next gate is sometimes if you get lost?
Absolutely. Racers is a super fast pilot, and I could not have a better guide on the course.
Well, congratulations, Racers and Nautilus. You guys are, again, moving on in our consolation bracket to match number 10. Still with a path to get into our final two-team matchup out of the consolation bracket, so we wish you guys the best of luck. And of course, this is where we send off the Wing Intimidator. Hope you had fun racing in the virtual tournament tonight, and we'll see you at the next one, and maybe even IRL in real life collegiate tournament in the future. Taking a little look at where we sit right now in our bracket. We just wrapped up match number 5. You can see the University of Minnesota over Embry-Riddle Prescott as we venture next to match number 6. This we are gridding up University of Wisconsin-Platteville and U.S. Air Force Academy. The pilots are getting into our virtual lobby, the virtual air chairs, and getting ready to fly. You know, Jordan, there's an interesting twist here when we join collegiate pilots with drone racing, and that kind of matches up with their programs and really could give them a great start on a career.
Absolutely, absolutely. So drone careers for these college pilots, you know, the Collegiate Drone Racing Association was built to bring these college pilots together. But on top of that, drone racing in general unlocks some very, very cool things for these pilots. When they actually drone race, they are building their own quads. They're putting them together, so they understand the engineering and technical side of things. But going beyond that, when they start racing them, they're learning the flying skills, right? They're learning how to be a drone pilot. You can go beyond that. Something simple, which is your Part 107 commercial license with the Federal Aviation Administration. And that'll actually legally let you be allowed to fly a drone and get paid for it, basically. So you can go do commercial business with drones. So they can turn this fun hobby into a career that way. And on top of that, a lot of these schools are actually picking up basically drone majors, right? University of North Dakota with an unmanned aircraft systems major. That's actually what I graduated from. It's fantastic. It's a 4-year degree program, and I know there's a lot more out there, so it's a great way for pilots to get a career.
Of course, as we talk about drone delivery, even the pizza could be coming by drone soon, and imagine how fast you can get your pizza if it is delivered by drone with a drone racing pilot. 30 minutes or less? How about 30 seconds or less? On the tone, let's go green. We're at match number 6. A consolation bracket race, University of Wisconsin-Platteville versus the U.S. Air Force Academy. Our second seeds ready to fly first. Create from Wisconsin-Platteville and Max V FPV from U.S. Air Force Academy. Deep seeds overall, so this is not going to be the fastest race, but it is going to be a pretty close matchup here as you only have Create FPV in the gold, about 5 gates ahead of Max V FPV. Max V not even in, well, he's on the left-hand side of the frame as you watch your leader Create FPV go through that baby blue switchback, ready to go into that red sky bridge section, over to the purple barrel roll. So Create FPV just trying to fly smooth here as a 10, now 11 gate lead over Max V FPV. In pretty good shape here. Get the first points on the board for the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, the Pioneers, the Drone Club.
Create FPV going through the slalom section and now into baby blue number 2. He'll be
You're on
making his
board
way
with
up to
him.
the final section of the track.
That's an FPV first-person view feed as he goes full send to that checkered gate, or that gate that's on fire, because, well, Create FPV on fire. First point of the session for University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Good job, Create FPV. Let's go to your next matchup. Top seed from each team. That'll be currently from the U.S. Air Force Academy versus Sparky the Gray from University of Wisconsin-Platteville. We saw Sparky the Gray last night in our individual tournament. He was 5th overall, and currently, well, he's got a match here that is gonna take everything he got to set up a tie going into our big heat. Let's go green. Launch them on the tone here, less than 5.
Sparky the Gray with your hole shot. He's coming over the split S and right into our twister section. That first corner gate going counterclockwise around the ladder gate. That'll push him right into the dive gate. Currently also going through the dive gate right there. About 2 seconds splitting 2 pilots.
Right. See them there. They're split half of the section of that baby blue switchback section. Sparky the Gray around the corkscrew. You're going to see just off to the left-hand side currently doing about the same. And now you're looking at a 12-gate deficit. So it's all Sparky the Gray with about 5 gates to go. There's the checkered. And that'll put University of Wisconsin-Platteville up by 2-0 into our big heat. So down by 2, U.S. Air Force Academy will need to be 1st and 2nd or 1st and 3rd. University of Wisconsin-Platteville in the pilot seat, not the driver's seat, in the pilot seat. Let's get set to go green on your big heat here in match number 6 of the consolation bracket. Who's our next team to be sent home? It's 50 seconds to decide. Currently in the number 2 spot in the light blue, right behind Sparky the Gray, trying to change destiny here in this race from that last one. And Max V FPV behind the scenes has moved himself up to the number 3 spot. So the U.S. Air Force Academy right now running 2nd and 3rd in pretty good form. But as we look at Sparky the Gray, he is now gapped 2nd, 3rd, and 4th by about 15 gates. If he crosses over first, this one is in the books, and he does. Nice win for Sparky the Gray to put the University of Wisconsin-Platteville further on in our consolation bracket. Next across the line, we'll take a 2nd place finish here. Looks like for currently lining up on that checker gate, there's currently across the line. Here to finish up.
It's a race between Create FPV and Max V FPV. Create is making his way through baby blue number 2. Now in the final section of the course, your 3rd, finishing 3rd right there. Max V FPV in 4th.
Not the worst right there. So, well, we look at them points 8-3, University of Wisconsin-Platteville over the U.S. Air Force Academy. Well, I guess as we have a send-off, how about we talk to the team captain there, the U.S. Air Force Academy. Currently, those last 2 heats, you had a better performance. How did you feel overall with your racing here tonight? We don't have him either. Do we have Max V on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
We actually saw considerable improvement there from that last race. You actually got up into 2nd at one point and into 3rd with your teammates. What did you think about racing drones in the virtual collegiate drone racing tournament?
It's definitely different from the real life, as you can see. But it's a great opportunity to keep practicing, getting outside, and we're fortunate enough to have this virtual simulator. So just getting better every day and keep flying.
Great way to sum that up.
started with 26 pilots, 14 teams, the U.S. Air Force Academy in the number 8 spot when it's all said and done. So congratulations on representing your team, and I'm sure we'll see you in another virtual tournament and in real life collegiate race another day as well currently. And Max V FPV from the U.S. Air Force Academy. Sparky the Gray and Create FPV will take the Pioneer Drone Club on in our consolation bracket to match number 9 in just a little bit. I mean, now we're really seeing the crunch and we're seeing that pressure, Jordan. This is turning into some great blade-to-blade battles, kind of like what we saw last night, and it's just starting to heat up, eh?
Absolutely. That's what we love about the drone racing sport too, right? In these consolation races, the pressure is on for these pilots. These schools have to win to stay alive, to move on. You know, we've sent off the U.S. Air Force Academy already and one other school. So it's crazy.
Great live action here tonight. Stay tuned for the Midco Sports Network. We're back with more drone racing after this. Yeah, buddy. Let's take a look at that Hydra leaderboard for all of our fans who are watching on our live stream on the Hydra FPV Twitch and Facebook page and the MultiGP YouTube channel. I say hello to Corey Mann from Ottawa, Christopher Leonard, Alex Wang, and Fadabs as well watching on YouTube. Sticks and Stones, one of our competing pilot up at the top of the leaderboard. Looks like Keener bets pretty big on the University of Wisconsin-Platteville in that last one, moving up into the number 2 spot. Congratulations, Pitch Pole, No Flip Nick, and Nick Wasp FPV rounding out our top 5 on the Hydra leaderboard. And on the left-hand side, our teams as they are sitting right now. Looks like Northeastern University, our TQs, solid on the points right now. Our top seeds moving on in our winners bracket. Of course, we're under a break on the Midco Sports Network. Super excited to present live drone racing on set-top boxes in Kansas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, of course, South Dakota, and North Dakota. Great partners here. The Virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament on Velocidrone. Midco Sports Network. Sure, they'll be playing it back. You'll be able to watch on your provider if you're in those regions. Make sure you check out your local listings.
I believe we're back here, Scully. We're going to match 7 now. This is going to be the University of Central Florida and the University of North Dakota.
That's right. This is a winner's bracket situation. The top 2 go to the semifinal of the winner's bracket. That journey continuing. University of Central Florida. That's Sticks and Stones and Single Core versus Rusky and Jengstorm of UND. And I talked about how they will tighten up those seeds as we advance through our bracket. These 2 teams are evenly matched here in match number 7. University of Central Florida was 3rd overall in qualifying, UND 2nd overall in qualifying. Even the pilot numbers are almost a facsimile. Well, let's get set for your first matchup. It's the number 2 seed from each school team. It'll be Single Core from University of Central Florida versus Jengstorm of UND.
Line these pilots up and get them racing.
We're in the lobby. We're about to go green in less than 5 seconds. Here we go.
That's Jengstorm pushing over hard to get your hole shot there. Going over the split ass and into the twister section, but he goes on his lid, makes some contact. That's going to put Single Core out in front. Single Core now going through the dive gate, making his way to the Cedar switchback, but also some contact. Looks like he was mowing the lawn there a little bit. That's what some of these quads are used for sometimes as they crash into the ground. Jengstorm out in front now. He'll be moving over your sky bitch section and into the barrel roll section. Single Core not far behind. You see him at the barrel roll at the same time. Both of them now through the UND green carousel, getting into our slalom section. Jengstorm goes on a lid. More contact.
They're blade to blade. And Single Core trying to make the pass, but in that second red slalom section, Single Core bite in the side of a gate. So Jengstorm got lucky right there. Single Core not able to blow through a gate.
Wow.
And so that'll give 1 point on the board here for the University of North Dakota. You see a Jengstorm?
Stakes there, Jack. We see you with us. What's up with that, man?
I knew he was close. I know he's a fast pilot. The nerves get to you a little bit.
Fair enough. That's right. Drone racing is a high-stakes sport. There's a lot of pressure on for these pilots. Let's line them up for our second race.
Well, it's the guy right over my shoulder right there, Sticks and Stones, top seed for University of Central Florida, second last night versus Rusky of UND, fourth overall last night in the individual competition. UND up by 1. Let's see what happens now. Pilots are ready.
To the races we go. Yellow pushover, that's Sticks and Stones. He gets your whole shot. Rusky in second. Both of them down to the twister section. That's your ladder gate. Sticks and Stones now going through the dive gate. Maintaining a lead. Rusty's got a little bit of work to do to catch up, but we'll see what happens. Sticks and Stones makes any mistake, Rusky will be over. Pilots down to the real section.
Rusky was just 2 gates back, but had some issues in the corkscrew section. So you watch Sticks and Stones now with a 10-gate lead as he goes into the red slalom section with the split S. On fire to the checkered we go, and now we are tied. There's a point for University of Central Florida. Sticks and Stones with the win of the session. And so as we get all 4 pilots in chairs, when it's tied, like we saw earlier tonight, in essence, you just don't want to be fourth. A race not to be last. And this isn't an elimination race. The top team will go to the semifinal of the winner's bracket. The bottom team still with a chance going into the consolation bracket. And let's go green. The race not to be last. University of Central Florida versus UND. We're about to go green. Jangstorm with the hole shot. Sticks and Stones sliding up into the number 1 spot. Jangstorm crashing. So now it's Sticks and Stones, then Rusky. Ultimate. The teams are 1 and 3, 2 and 4. Sticks and Stones in the yellow right now with about a 10-gate lead over Rusky in second. Way at the back of the pack, it's Jangstorm in that race not to be last. Right now he is last, trying to clean things up here. Otherwise, this is all in the bag here for University of Central Florida. Still watching Sticks and Stones in the yellow. He gets across the line. And next, Rusky in the number 2 spot for UND. Third will be single core from University of Central Florida. And that'll be enough to put University of Central Florida in the semifinal of the winner's brackets. And of course, UND, their journey is not done as yet. It'll be into the consolation bracket we go. Match number 9 for them as we conclude match number 7.
Well, that's UND's first loss on the day. That'll be putting them into the consolation bracket, right?
Correct. That was a winner's bracket. So into the consolation bracket we go with them. Again, still a chance to proceed into our finals. There is a chance to proceed into our finals here tonight. We wish both teams the best of luck, not saying goodbye, no tears as of yet, as we get ready for match number 8, Virginia Tech and Northeastern University. This is the same situation, a winner's bracket situation, which means one team continues on their journey into the semifinal of the winner's bracket. The other team will go into the consolation bracket. Number 2 seeds ready to fly. It'll be White Eye for Virginia Tech versus Silver Dragon 314 from Northeastern University.
Line them up and see these pilots rip.
Remember, Northeastern University is our top-seeded team with last night's champion, who's waiting in the wings. But right now, Silver Dragon leading the charge here over White Eye. Silver Dragon on the top-seeded Northeastern University.
What happened there? Did you get stuck on that gate?
Someone gets stuck on a gate?
No, I was talking to the other chat.
Okay.
Our pilot's chiming in with us. Silver Dragon, your leader right now. He's in the slalom section, moving quickly to Baby Blue number 2. White Eye. Might be able to see him back there. He's about 30 gates back. Silver Dragon looks like he's going to win here.
Pushing to that checkered line. That line is on fire. Silver Dragon 314 with the win here the first session. So your top-seeded team leading into the second 1v1 top seed from each team. So Pino, your TQ, winner from last night on the number 1 seeded team versus Lou FPV from Virginia Tech. He finished 8th overall last night. Anything can happen. We expect the unexpected. Northeastern University up by 1 here in the 1v1s. Here is the launch.
That's Pino with your hole shot, moving quick as usual. Going right around the ladder gate, with Lou FPV going left around the ladder gate. Pino wearing his white school colors and Lou FPV wearing his red colors. Pino now already to the barrel roll section. Lou FPV struggling in our CDRA switchback section, but you're watching Pino right now. He is moving. Get that live heads-up perspective, and you see those 2 little boxes on the bottom of the screen there. The left side is his throttle stick and yaw stick, and the right side is his pitch and roll. So you are literally seeing live inputs that the pilots are putting in their controllers to get these aircraft through these gates.
Yeah, indeed, that is a heck of a talent. Look at that. Dad's coming in to cheer on White Eye. Good luck, White Eye. Dad's behind you. It's good to have that family support. As we go to the big heat, Northeastern University up by 2 points. So when you're down by 2 for White Eye and Lou FPV of Virginia Tech, they need a first and a second or a first and a third if they are going to stay alive in the winner's bracket. Winner of this one going to the semifinal of the winner's bracket. The big heat going green right now.
Pino with your hole shot, as expected. He's moving quick. Silver Dragon in second, Lou FPV in third, White Eye in fourth.
White drones are your top-seeded Northeastern University pilots, and collectively they are about 5, 10, almost 15 gates to the good. And the way the point system works is technically not a sweep, but I guess the best that you can do is a pair of wins in the 1v1s and a first and a second in the big up heat for a total of 9 points. And so that gives our win here to Northeastern University as Pino now Silver Dragon get across the line, and Lou FPV and White Eye, the teammates, battling with each other back and forth here for position. But Northeastern University have already made the decision and confirmed the results. Northeastern University moving on in our winners bracket to compete against the University of Central Florida in the semifinal of the winners bracket. That is going to be coming up here in just a little bit. Man, what an exciting match that was right there, huh, Jordan?
No kidding. These pilots are fast. Pino being our individual championship from the night. You know, we expected some fast flying, and we got some of that. That's a good sweep for our team in white.
So, of course, we have about 6 more matches still to go as we go into the consolation bracket next, working our way to our final 2 teams to compete here tonight. We are back with more live drone racing after this on the Midcoast Sports Network.
Now, for those of you watching on the live stream, we're going to take this moment to talk about the 2021 Collegiate Drone Racing Championship. I believe we got a pretty awesome video queued up for that. There you have it. The 2020 Collegiate Drone Racing Championship was actually supposed to take place 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, this pandemic that we're all dealing with canceled that event. Joe Scully was going to be here in person in North Dakota, but we had some issues with that. So the University of North Dakota will be hosting the 2021 Collegiate Drone Racing Championship coming next April.
Awesome. That is super exciting to hear. Welcome back. You're watching the Virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament Team Competition live on the Midcoast Sports Network, along with all of our partners' social media pages. Of course, our great partners of this event here tonight, the Collegiate Drone Racing Association, along with Hydra FPV, our production partner, and MultiGP Drone Racing League as well, the largest league in the game, bringing you all the great drone racing events, including this one here tonight. And we are now at match number 9 in our consolation bracket, our losers bracket, but we don't like to say the word loser because we like to be politically correct. And of course, in the consolation bracket, you do have a chance in one extra match, in essence, to make it into the finals tonight, giving you a chance to, in essence, come in hot into our finals. But the situation be as it may, it's a loser's bracket. We're still looking for winners. It's match number 9, University of Wisconsin-Platteville versus UND in this consolation bracket. The winners will move on, and the bottom team will be eliminated, finishing 5th overall. Not the worst, but let's get things underway here. Your second seed from each team. So it'll be Create from University of Wisconsin-Platteville versus Jangstorm from University of North Dakota.
See some action in 2 seconds. Here we're off. And that's Jangstorm in the green with your whole shot there. He's wearing those UND green colors as Create wears his orange UW-Platteville colors.
Jangstorm, 3-gate lead, 4-gate lead, 5-gate lead. Great FPV's got some issues way back in the red twister section. So Jangstorm just trying to fly smooth as you're watching him there in the green. That red slalom section into the split S. Now into a baby blue number 2. And now it's green because it's victory lane. And we take Jangstorm across the line and 1 point on the board for University of North Dakota. The Rotohawks.
Quite a gap that Jangstorm had right there. Good racing on him. Looked like you had an issue coming towards the UND green carousel section. Did you make contact with a gate?
Yeah, I clipped one of the gates I clipped one of the red slalom gates and it knocked me off, but luckily it wasn't a full crash, just out of course.
Fair enough. Well, it kept you well ahead. Create had some room to make up there.
And there we are. Now the camera's on for both pilots from UND wearing the jersey, the old t-shirt jersey representing their alma maters. I like your style. Speaking of t-shirts, you also got Sparky the Gray. He's your high seed from University of Wisconsin-Platteville on the right-hand side of your screen. He is up against Rusky of UND, second from the left. Your top seed from each team. And again, UND up by 1. Let's get set on heat number 2. Your top seeds from each team.
Having the tone in less than 2. Let's see who gets this whole shot. And Sparky with a quick pushover, leaving Russ in second. Pilots now in the twister section, your ladder gate.
Rusky ahead of Sparky.
Sparky with some issues on the dive gate. That's putting him way back. Rusky now about 4 gates ahead. Actually, they're getting closer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is a blade-to-blade battle here. We need to tie this up going into this final. Sparky the Gray reeling in Rusky. Has him in his sights. Rusky in the green, Sparky the Gray in the gold. And Sparky the Gray crashing out. You are now on board with Rusky as he goes through the start-finish gate. And so UND up by 2 into the big heat. And this is where pressure is on. UND up by 2. And if they win, they move on in the consolation bracket. The team that, in essence, right now has the 4th place pilot is eliminated. A race not to be last. Good luck, pilots. Race director trying to get everyone queued up and hit that go tone.
3,
countdown on.
2, 1.
Will UND stay alive here tonight? Race not to be last. Pushing. UND with that 2-point advantage.
Jangstorm in the lead right now. Sparky second, Russ third, Create FPV, but lots of trading places between those top 3 pilots. We see them staying pretty consistent They're in a UND green carousel section right now. That's your leader, Rusky. Sparky trades places with him, though. Russ and Jankstorm in second and third. That's still a good spot, and that would mean a win for them.
Especially being up by those 2 points here. And the finish happened. First going to go to Sparky the Gray. Second going to go to Rusky. Third to Jangstorm. And fourth to University Wisconsin-Platteville's Create FPV. So that is where their journey comes to an end for University Wisconsin-Platteville. UND will stay alive. Rusky and Jangstorm getting the win of the match by 3 points. They're back in match number 12 in just a little bit. And that's where the journey ends here for Create FPV and Sparky the Gray, University Wisconsin-Platteville. So Alex and Sean, anything to say to those of your fans watching here tonight as you guys bow out? Top 5 of 16 schools here tonight.
Yeah, really happy to be here. Got a bunch of family and friends watching. So glad we could participate for a second time this year, and we'll definitely be coming back next year and racing again. Hope to bring more pilots and be faster every year.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. That's Sparky the Great.
A great job by both of them. And now as we get our next pilots ready to go here, I think we're still sticking in the consolation bracket, match number 10 here, waiting the wings. But a couple more anonymous donors helping us out on the GoFundMe. Search for the CDRA Coronavirus Relief Fundraiser and the GoFundMe platform. There's information on the bottom of the screen as well of that. So make sure to check it out. A couple more anonymous donors taking us up to $400 towards the foundation for the CDC on our fundraiser. Thanks to all of those for their support. And behind the scenes, we're gridding up University of Minnesota versus Virginia Tech.
Absolutely. University of Minnesota, your 6 seed. Virginia Tech, your 4 seed. Sounds like our pilots are ready.
So this is a consolation bracket race. So winning team will go on to battle UND. The bottom team will be 6th overall from our field of 14 or 16 teams that competed here in this event. We start things off with the 2v2 seeds. We're watching the purple and Nautilus leading. And you'll see the splash of red of White Eye in the number 2 spot. They're only separated by about 4 gates.
Like Nautilus is your leader right now. He's in the barrel roll section. Make some contact, but going into the UND green carousel. White Eye with contact way back in the UND green carousel. That's going to put Nautilus well ahead. He's got a pretty safe lead here. He's in our slalom section right now, getting into baby blue number 2.
University of Minnesota doing all right. And there he goes across the line. So it's Nautilus over White Eye. 1 point to the University of Minnesota. As we get set to launch our top seeds from each team. Up by 1, University of Minnesota. Racers next to fly for his team. And down by 1 for Virginia Tech. Lou FPV will be the next one to fly and answer, or attempt to answer.
All right. Well, let's get these pilots moving. Race 2. Here we go. It's Racers with your whole shot. Lou FPV in second. They're sticking very close. Looks like there was almost a place trade right there. Yeah, Lou FPV in first now. He goes through your dive gate. Racers in second, moving quickly towards the CDRA switchback section. That's that baby blue section.
Lou FPV wins this one. We're tied into the big heat, but we are 1 gate apart. Lou ahead of Racers here into that purple barrel roll section. And there was a pass right outside of the barrel roll section. So Racers ahead of Lou. Lou now trying to play catch up as they go into that slalom section into the split S. Lou makes the pass by Racers just out of that split S section. Now it's through the green line, and Lou fighting it into the second to last gate, giving the win to Racers in that heat. And University of Minnesota now up by 2.
That's got to hurt for Lou FPV. That contact right at the, I think it was the second or third to last gate.
Yeah,
We didn't see. Go ahead.
It hurt.
We didn't see the reaction there, but I did see White Eye's reaction as he watched Lou FPV. Our pilot's able to spectate their partner or their teammate behind the scenes, so we saw his reaction to racers flying. So into our big heat we go. University of Minnesota by 2. That means to warrant off elimination, Virginia Tech will need to be first and second or first and third. They need a first place win, or the win goes to University of Minnesota. We're already underway in Minnesota in both purple drones 1 and 2. And now you got Lou FPV from Virginia Tech in the red, hot on their heels. There's Lou FPV making a move up into the number 2 spot. Purple is Racers in the number 1 spot. Now Nautilus getting by Lou. So you got this switch up. It's Racers still in the front. Lou FPV now in the red right behind him. Lou pushing for that win that he needs, but now Racers with a 6-gate lead. Racers will finish that one in the number 1 spot. Buddy. So Racers pulling up first, Lou FPV pulling up second when it's all said and done, Nautilus third, and White Eye fourth. And so by 5 points, University of Minnesota getting the win, moving on to match number 12 to compete against University Wisconsin-Platteville. And so Virginia Tech will finish 6th overall in that in our team racing competition. And well, their pilots were 14th and 8th overall. So lots to brag about as we send off Lou FPV and White Eye from Virginia Tech. Those on cameras, you can wave to us real quick. And we will see you again soon. That's match number 10 in the books. And as we proceed to give you more of what you need, that is more virtual drone racing here tonight. When we come back, we're in our winners bracket situation, semi of the winners bracket. The top team going into our final, and then we'll see who competes against them as we work our way through the consolation bracket. Lots more racing still to go. Stay tuned to the Midcoast Sports Network. More live drone racing after these few messages.
Absolutely. Now, while we have some time in our live stream, Midco's on commercial actually, but we've got something to show you coming from the University of North Dakota.
Work. There's all kinds. There's the work we do in the morning. The work we do in the dead of night. Problem-solving, world-changing, mind-bending hard work. It's what drives us. To lead the way, unwilling to quit. Because the work we do, it's bigger than us. It's work worth doing.
That's the University of North Dakota. We believe in work. Coming from the University of North Dakota myself, I'm a graduate in the Unmanned Aircraft Systems major, and it's a fantastic university, fantastic students, and fantastic teachers. All around, pretty fantastic school.
On our YouTube stream there, someone asking about NV Astro, because of course this is the Collegiate Drone Racing Association virtual drone racing tournament. Of course, NV Astro, the first ever collegiate champion, that was back in 2016. So he has gone
back.
Has gone on from there, and we are back live on the Midcoast Sports Network. Thanks to those watching at home, and of course online as well. We're now at a big point in our competition. It is match 11, the semifinal of the winners bracket, where the top team goes into our finals. And of course, the second place team still has a chance. They go into the semifinal of the consolation bracket, so still a path to our championship. And what a great matchup here. FPV Knights, the University of Central Florida versus NUAV of Northeastern University. Of course, Northeastern University, your top qualifying team. University of Central Florida, third overall as a team. But when we feature our 1v1s, our top seeds against each other. We have first and second from last night's individual competition. And here we have two of the top 10 pilots ready to go in the second seeds. First up, Single Core from UCF versus Silver Dragon 314 from NUAV, Northeastern University. Our race director behind the scenes trying to hit some buttons, get this thing moving.
2, 1.
And Stones almost looked like he was wearing a banana suit. Lots of yellow on him. I'm not sure what that was, but that's funny. Silver Dragon is your leader right now. He's going into the CDRA switchback section. That's your first baby blue section on the course. Single Core not far behind, though. These pilots are both fast. We're dragging over the sky bridge going into our barrel roll. They're separated by maybe half a second at this point. Silver Dragon with some contact. Single Core is going to slide right past them. This is going to make this a race, folks. They just traded places. Single Core is now your leader. He's going into the slalom section very quickly into baby blue number 2. Silver Dragon about 1.5 seconds back. Single Core with some contact. This is blade to blade now, folks. They're going around the flag. Single Core with more contact. Silver Dragon with contact. They're both down. This is all it. Oh my gosh. Separated by less than 1/10 of a second. That is crazy. That's what we love seeing here in drone racing. That is head-to-head, blade-to-blade. That is a fantastic race, pilots. Silver Core was your leader there with a 48.612. Silver Dragon with a 48.635. Fantastic. Now we got the next race coming up is your 1 seed. That's Pino and Sticks and Stones. Let's line them up and get them racing.
This is setting us up here to be tied, I believe, man. Pino versus Sticks and Stones. We saw them in the semifinal of individuals and the finals last night. It was Pino over Sticks and Stones. And this is a great matchup right here to watch again. Pino and Sticks and Stones only separated by about 12 feet. Pino still in the lead in the red. Sticks and Stones right behind him in the yellow. That corkscrew section we go. Pino into the green sweeper. Sticks and Stones right behind him now about 4 gates back. Trying to wheel in Pino. And Pino at the checkered line. So this one is tied going into our big heats. Wow.
Sure is. Pino with another 26.8. That's a sub 30-second lap time. Now, last night we saw them go head-to-head. They were in our final race. Pino shut Sticks and Stones down in the first 3 races. And again, this is number 4 for Pino, taking the lead over Sticks and Stones. Now let's line up all 4 pilots as we go to our big heat.
Yeah, buddy.
1.
University of Central Florida in the yellow, Northeastern University in the red, and you got a mix of both at the front.
Sticks and Stones back by about 2 seconds from Pino. Silver Dragon and Single Core very close together through that barrel roll section. Pino may have first, but it's going to be a race for second and third. Stones is your second finisher. The staggered leaderboard.
Remember, it's a race not to be last when it's tied. Silver Dragon getting third. And so, into our finals, we take our top-seeded team, Northeastern University. Boom. And into the semifinal of the consolation bracket, we'll take the University of Central Florida. So more racing to go for them in that big race not to be last. And just like we saw last night, we may see them meet again in our finals. We'll see how that plays out. Good luck to both teams. Congratulations, Northeastern University in our finals. And of course, well, UCF definitely going to need to get it done there in our consolation bracket. Moving on, let's go to match number 12.
The University of North Dakota and the University of Minnesota.
Say this is a classic hockey battle.
It absolutely is.
How is that? I guess they have some hockey teams over there. You guys do that?
Hockey, man. Absolutely. Being from the University of North Dakota myself, hockey is basically a cult up here. It's a lot of fun. So this is quite a race for us. Jankstorm is your leader right now, Nautilus in second. Moving past the twister section, Nautilus with a lot of contact on that ladder gate. Jankstorm well ahead into our CDRA switchback section, giving him a ton of breathing room. Nautilus still making mistakes back there. Jankstorm moving into the UND green carousel. Looks like he missed a gate, had to double back. Now into our slalom section. Nautilus way back. This is basically a race in the books for Jankstorm. As long as he doesn't make any crazy mistakes, I think he's got it.
Crazy mistakes like that.
Looking like some issues, but still, our first place goes to Jankstorm. That's a 45.9 second lap time.
Good job for Jankstorm. That gives UND a lead of 1 point over University of Minnesota. Now we go to our top seed from each team, Rusky and Racers.
Let's line them
Rusky
up.
from
See if we're
UND,
racing.
Racers from University of Minnesota. And UND in the green up by 1. And Racers with the whole shot. Now Rusky just ahead of Racers. These guys were pretty evenly qualified. Both in the top 10 as individual pilots. Rusky in the green with a 2-gate lead over Racers in the purple. You can see at that switchback section just how far apart they are, and it's not that far at all. Rusky at power loop section as Racers goes into it as well, separated by now just 4 gates. Rusky working his way into the red slalom section, into the split S. Racers going into the same section right now, but Rusky with all of the lead through that victory lane, and across the line we go. Rusky with the win of his matchup, so going into our big heat.
It's 2 points for
UND up by
UND.
1.
That's got to feel good. Let's race our 4 pilots up. This is our big heat.
Situation here, looking at University of Minnesota down by 2. They need a first place and either a second or a third to push away elimination. So
Seeing 2
running
green out in
defense.
front, that's the University of North Dakota. Purple behind. Through the CDRA switchback section over the Sky Bridge. That's Jankstorm and Russ, your leaders. Jankstorm in first, Russ in second. Racers in third, Nautilus in fourth. Now, Racers and Nautilus are going to have to step this up to make points and stay alive.
Well, they at least need a first, and both the UND pilots here racing each other for that first place finish here in match number 12. It'll go to Jankstorm. Husky pulling up second, and UND will stay alive. They're going to be up on deck versus University of Central Florida in our consolation brackets. And this is where we send off the University of Minnesota, Team Alpha Drone Racers, and Nautilus finishing 4th overall. That's pretty good. They qualified 6th. Nautilus, what do you got to say to those watching you at home?
Yeah, no, I'm just thankful to be here. Thanks for everybody watching, and I had a blast.
That's good to hear. Thanks for flying with us, Nautilus.
Good luck to everybody else tonight.
Good stuff. Yeah, indeed. Send off to the University of Minnesota. What a great effort by them. So that means University of North Dakota staying alive, and will be up against the University of Central Florida in our semi-final of the consolation bracket. And of course, the winner from that going on to battle the top-seeded team, Northeastern University. They're definitely going to have their hands full on that one. More blade-to-blade racing, crashes, thrills, spills, and much, much more. We're glad you're with us. We have 2 more mega matches still to go. Stay tuned to the Midco Sports Network. More live drone racing after these messages.
For those of you with us on the live stream, let's get some leaderboard updates here for the Hydra Fan app.
Keener,
that's Scott Keen from the University of North Dakota. That is a 4,500 point gain for him with 16K overall on the leaderboard. Lou FPV in second, Skids in third, Pino in fourth. Did not play on that one.
Of course, those that haven't downloaded the app yet, it's absolutely free. You can find it in the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store as well, Hydra FPV. And even if you can't be at the top of our leaderboard here tonight, they list all of the events that you can game along with at home. And now you can even compete for real money on select races as well, in addition to prizes. Hydra FPV on both Apple and Google platforms. Download it. Check out when the next races are, watching the live streams online and in the app. Thank you to our friends at Hydra. Welcome back. You're watching the virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament live on the Midcoast Sports Network. My name's Joe Scully. With me is Jordan Kruger. How about the racing so far, Jordan, with 2 big matches left? This has been an outstanding battle to watch, hasn't it?
Dude, I'm loving it, and this is just going to turn up the heat. We got our last 2 matches of the night, and I am excited. University of North Dakota is in it. That's my alma mater. Excited to see where they go.
Semi-final, the Consolation bracket, match number 13, and the winner of this matchup will go to our finals versus Northeastern University. Remember, University of Central Florida met Northeastern not too long ago in the winners bracket, so this is their last chance to advance into our finals, and now University of North Dakota trying to get their piece of the podium here tonight. Your second-seeded pilot from each team will match first, just like we've doing all night long. Single core for UCF versus Jangstorm of UND Rotorhawks. We're about to go green.
Do it. It's Jangstorm in green. We're in those UND green colors, and single core in yellow. Trading places a little bit through the start there. Both of them into the ladder gate. Single core out front currently. Went into the CDRA switchback section. Jangstorm doesn't have much. Oh, he slides past right there. Single core hits the top of the gate. Jangstorm now going over the sky bridge. Single core about 3 seconds back, making more contact. He's going to have a lot of room to make up now. Jangstorm, a little bit of breathing room. Goes for the UND green carousel and into the slalom. Pushing hard. No mistakes from Jangstorm.
They're separated by 5 gates, but I don't think that single core is going to be able to make it up. Jangstorm will get your first win of the session, and there is a point on the board for the University of North Dakota. Next up, your top seed from each team. Rusky from UND, they're up by 1 versus Sticks and Stones from UCF. Looking for the win here to make it a tie into our final heat.
Line these pilots up. Sticks and Stones was your second place individual qualifier last night, and Rusky your 4th. This is going to be a good race. Sticks and Stones with your hole shot. He's pushing out to the front. Both pilots now in our ladder gate, moving counterclockwise and then diving through that dive gate. It's going to bring them into our baby blue CDRA switchback section.
Separated by 2 gates. Into the corkscrew we go with Sticks and Stones in the yellow. Right behind him, Rusky in the green. Sticks and Stones looking for the win to tie it up before our big heat. He goes through the red slalom section over to the red split S. Right behind him is Rusky, only 3 gates back. Sticks and Stones into victory lane towards the checker gate. Sticks and Stones with the win over Rusky by 1.8 seconds, and we are now tied going into our big heat.
I don't think there was a mistake from either pilot on that one. Sticks and Stones was just straight up faster. That was clean racing. No gates got hit. That's what we like to see.
Yes, indeed. So officially we are tied. So it's a race not to be 4th here in the big heat. Winning team going to our finals, and we're already green. Jangstorm had the whole shot, but Sticks and Stones, a UCF in the yellow out front. Now Jangstorm pushing up in front of him. Over on the backside, all the pilots are only separated by about 3 gates, most of them coming in frame. I'll tell you, green and Jangstorm leading now. It's the yellow of Sticks and Stones getting by. And now Rusky in the mix as well. Only 3 gates separating the entire field as they go through that UND sweeper at Sticks and Stones. UCF with a 2-gate lead over Rusky UND in the green. And Sticks and Stones getting the win of the big heat. Rusky pulling up 2nd. Now a race not to be last. Single core pulling out 3rd.
Oh no.
And Jangstorm pulling up 4th. Jangstorm, you were in 3rd almost the entire race. What happened?
You get knocked around, you start bouncing between the gates, and you just can't get back on course. It happens.
It happens, right? Racing happens, stuff happens. We definitely understand that. And so single core, who was in fourth the whole time. Michael, were you stressed out there? Was that a surprise when you popped up third at the end?
Yeah, it definitely was. I honestly thought I was about to crash in that last green section, or he was going to catch up or something, but I got the line down and full throttled it through.
Well, congratulations, University of Central Florida. A rematch again tonight versus Northeastern University and the University of Central Florida in our championship. And that means it's a send-off to UND's Rusky and Jangstorm. Guys, thanks for racing with us tonight. What do you have to say to all your fans who've been watching on your hometown network, the Midcoast Sports Network?
Yeah, just
You go ahead.
just thank you for watching. We know it was kind of short notice, and it means a lot to us.
Speaking of short notice, we're doing this in the midst of a pandemic. You know, we pivoted towards virtual drone racing for a reason. That's why these pilots are with us here tonight. Congrats to University of North Dakota taking third place overall in our team competition. That feels good, but second place or first place would have felt better for me personally, being from UND. But Northeastern University and Central Florida moving on.
Good racing, guys.
Good racing.
You too.
Yeah, buddy. The big finals and a rematch as well. The third-seeded University of Central Florida Sticks and Stones and Single Core versus Northeastern University's Silver Dragon 314. And of course, Pino Pedro Caceres, the fastest pilot on this track. Will it be enough to sweep both the individual and the team racing competition? I can't wait to get into that finals here tonight. That is coming up here in just mere moments. You are watching the Midcoast Sports Network. Thanks for being with us. We are back with the match that we've all been waiting for. Midcoast Sports Network. This is how we do sports. We'll be back in just a moment.
For those of you watching on our live stream, University of North Dakota is the host and premier sponsor for this event. Let's take a look at what they're about to show us.
You are ready now. Discovery isn't just over the horizon. It's in everything you do. Because excellence is a habit. And great ideas don't come ready-made. So bring your work ethic, bring your ambition. This is work worth doing. Worth searching, worth knowing. This kind of work is for leaders. This kind of work is for you.
Yeah, buddy, what a great night. Of course, we are under a commercial break with the Midcoast Sports Network. Everyone else watching on the MultiGP YouTube channel, Hydra FPV, Twitch, and Facebook pages, doing a three-way broadcast. So for the first time ever, drone racing live on television, not to tape. We're live all across North Dakota, South Dakota, and more. Welcome back. You are watching the virtual collegiate drone racing tournament team competition live on the Midcoast Sports Network, along with the MultiGP YouTube channel, the Hydra Twitch channel, and Facebook page as well. Wherever you are enjoying our drone racing tonight, thanks for being along for the flight or the ride, however you look at it. I'm Joe Scully, with me Jordan Kruger, and we have worked our way this weekend, 26 pilots, 16 different schools. Tonight, we have now worked our way down to the top 4 pilots, the top 2 teams here in match number 14. University of Central Florida, who last night were second overall with their individual pilot, versus Northeastern University, who last night won with their individual pilot. And we already saw them meet not too long ago in the semifinals of the winners bracket. We know that all the cards are kind of leaning to the side in Northeastern University. If you're the captain of University of Central Florida, what would you be telling your boys right now?
Just, keep it smooth. Push as hard as you can. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Keep it consistent. Don't overpush yourself, and just do your best.
Yeah.
And of course, last night, Pino, our top qualifier, was competing simultaneously in another simulator tournament. Tonight, Pino, we're still seeing those super fast 26-second lap times. Do you feel less pressure tonight because you're not in two different races, or do you feel more pressure tonight because this is an all-in team effort?
I mean, I'm feeling a bit less pressure just because of the lack of a timing struggle, but you know, it's still a tough competition, so I'm excited.
Speaking of timing struggle, Pino was actually in a Velocidrone competition last night that was different than the CDRA competition. So interesting to see those pilots bouncing back and forth, and he was coming in nervous from the other races last night.
Can I just say, we just talked about that. Let's go racing, buddy. Load them up. Number 2 seed from each team. Single core versus Silver Dragon. Let's go green. University of Northeastern University in the red with Silver Dragon. University of Central Florida in the gold with single core. And it is blade to blade here, trying to get the first point on the board. Single core just made the move past Silver Dragon 314. To that purple barrel roll section, Silver Dragon is coming out, and single core 2 gates back into that UND green sweeper off to the back side of the field into the red slalom. Silver Dragon, now it's 3 gates back, single core in the number 2 spot. Silver Dragon trying to put the first win on the board here for Northeastern University, and he does, but that one was a close one. Separation of 2.1 seconds. Silver Dragon over single core. What a matchup that was. Let's roll into your top seeds from each team. Deja vu all over again from last night. Deja vu from all over again moments ago. Sticks and Stones from UCF versus Pino from NUAV's team at Northeastern in red.
These pilots are pushing hard. That was Pino with your hole shot. Sticks and Stones moving quickly behind him, only separated by about half a second. Both pilots now moving past CDRA switchback. That's your first blue section on the course, and into the barrel roll. Sticks and Stones with those contacts. A little bit of contact on those UND green carousel gates. That's putting him way back. Pino already finished with a 26.5.
Those 26
lap times throughout the night too, man.
Those 26s. Well, a pretty valiant effort. 2 up, 2 down. Let's go. As we get our next 4 pilots ready. I mean, I'm feeling the intensity. I'm seeing the excitement. Remember, deja vu all over again. Blade to blade racing. Let's roll into this big heat. Here we go. Remember the situation. You're down by 2. You need a win and a second and a third. Deja vu all over again. Pino out front. Sticks and Stones right behind him again.
Remember, just because Pino is your TQ and taking first place, if he takes first and Silver Dragon takes fourth, Sticks and Stones and single core will win all of it. Points are dealt to make sure that schools and consistency between all their pilots is a winning factor.
There is your win for Pino. Second going to go to Sticks and Stones.
Oh, baby. Oh, no! Single core gets hung up on the last gate.
Silver Dragon third.
Oh my.
That was crazy.
Maybe
What happened?
Decided
What happened
by
at the
that.
end?
Oh my gosh.
What? Man, single core, a little bit of a hookup at the end, but official points coming in. And so your reserve champions here tonight, University of Central Florida, 5 points back. And your winners, Northeastern University by 5 points, Pino and Silver Dragon, will be top of the proverbial box here. And of course, University of North Dakota in the number 3 spot. So Sticks and Stones, single core, you almost had them there in the big heat. What do you guys got to say about this racing at home in a virtual collegiate tournament?
It's great because when you crash, you don't have to do 2 hours and $100 of repairs. So it's been great to be able to full throttle, go all out, and not have to worry about that side of it.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun,
buddy.
part of it. But I can't wait for the real in-person racing soon.
Yeah, we say that we're going to be opening up very soon, of course, not filling stadiums as of yet, but of course, drone racing with that true community environment. So, groups of 10 and under, 50 and under, drone racing is good to go, at least for a participant basis. Your winners, Northeastern University, Silver Dragon, and Pino. Silver Dragon, I mean, we've been talking about Pino the whole time as the TQ and stuff, but you've been consistently winning almost every race here tonight. What did you think about racing in this tournament, Ryan?
It's kind of funny because outside the races when I'm practicing, I feel anything but consistent. But I guess I've just been able to do well enough in just the matches that count that I managed to get here. So I guess that's pretty good.
So, of course, the story of the Virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament, we had the 2020 Collegiate Championship scheduled at the University of North Dakota, racing with real drones back in April. And, of course, thanks to coronavirus, we had to reschedule that to next year. And then, of course, we launched this tournament. How long have you been flying the sim of Velocidrone to prepare for this? I think we lost him.
Might have lost him. It's a virtual event after all, right? These pilots are joining us all across the United States. Technical difficulties can sometimes play an issue.
How about winner, chicken dinner, top of the box in the individual, and top of the box for his team, Northeastern University, Pedro, or Pino from Northeastern University. I see he's with us. Man, you slayed the entire field here. How does it feel to be the champ 2 nights running?
Man, it feels awesome. I mean, this was so much fun, and I'm happy it ended up this way.
You look a little red in the face there. Are you feeling good right now?
Oh man, I mean, I get jittery and shaky and nervous during racing, and this was no exception.
Well, congratulations. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to that has been watching one of our broadcasts?
I believe my mom has been downstairs watching me, so if you're watching, thanks. Love you.
There you go. Shout out to all the mums and congratulations, Pedro, along with Ryan. That's Pino and Silver Dragon 314 for the first ever Virtual Collegiate Drone Racing Tournament Team Champions, Northeastern University. And then, of course, the guy who doubled down, Pino, winner of both team and individual. Our congrats to him as well. That's kind of a throwback to what we've seen in actual previous collegiate championships. Once again, our congratulations to our second runners-up, third on our podium, the University of North Dakota, Rusky and Jangstorm, your reserve champions, and Stones and Single Core, the University of Central Florida, and of course, Northeastern University just slaying it. It's been a lot of fun and, for a great cause as well. And we can't thank enough all of those who donated to the CDRA fundraiser on GoFundMe for coronavirus relief. We've raised over $400. Thank you to all of our donors and everyone gaming along tonight. Let's see that Hydra leaderboard and see who is our champ of the night. And that is Keener.
Scott Keene from the University of North Dakota. You'll be getting a $50 gift card. And second place, Pino, getting a $25 gift card for being our fan leaders. First place and second place there. Lou FPV in third. Gids in fourth place. Snowflake Nick in 5.
Yeah, holy guy. Well, a great night of drone racing, a great weekend of drone racing. We can't thank enough our production partners, the Midcoast Sports Network, helping us make history of having the first ever drone race live, not to tape and then broadcast, live on television on set-top boxes. We hope you've enjoyed this coverage on the Midcoast Sports Network, along with our partners, MultiGP, the world's largest drone racing league, presenting this race behind the scenes and on their YouTube channel. Of course, the entire cast and crew of Hydra FPV with our video production in the sim and in real life, and of course with their leaderboard and gamification as well. Thank you to Marty, Joel, and the entire team working up in Wisconsin on that one. Of course, the entire Collegiate Drone Racing Association for their support as well and putting this whole event together. Jordan, any final thoughts?
Thanks for having me here, and thank you to those who donated to Collegiate Drone Racing Association's Coronavirus Relief Fundraiser. It's been fantastic here over the weekend, and I'm glad we were able to pivot to virtual in these strange times.
thanks a bunch for watching. This is Midco Sports Network. This is how we do sports.